Hello everyone, I am burdened with Great Cat, and this is another episode of Music of the Week. I don't really have a lot to self-promote until the end, do I? No. So we got 5 albums to go through, don't we? Yes, and we're going to go through them as quickly as we can, aren't we? Yes, I'll see you at the other end. This is staying in, I don't care, this is staying in. Look at how happy he is. So we start in Madrid, Spain for a deathcore band named Bonecarver and their second album, Carnage Funeral. This one comes out about a year after their debut, and they weren't always known as Bonecarver. In fact, from 2013 to 2020, they were known as Cannibal Grandpa, which is a significantly less badass name. And I'm giving this album straight at the gate a B plus. I really liked so many aspects of this. It's not the best deathcore album or even extreme death metal album I've heard all year, but it's got more of a gritty oomph to it, and yeah, it's just got some really solid themes, some like good lyrical themes about self-loathing and addiction and things like that. Even with the typical stuff going on, there's still some great storytelling. I like the performances as well. The production's really good too. I think it was released on Unique Leader, which is definitely one of the best like extreme metal production labels or just record labels in general going around these days. I think my main issue with that, and it's going to sound weird, is the fact that of none of the lyrics are actually in Spanish, and I really wanted, first of all, my hair to not be so fucking messy all the time. I also really badly wanted some of the lyrics to be sung in Spanish or screamed in Spanish because I've said it before, I'll say it again. Screaming, deathly screaming, or in a band's native tongue always sounds cool. The bands keep it entirely English, and the English is really good. But yeah, I kind of wanted a little bit to be in Spanish. It would have sounded way cool, especially with the religious themes. Oh my god, could you fucking imagine? But yeah, solid performances. Instrumental work's really good, heavy. Love the guitar solos at times too. Production's nice. Structuring is quite well put together too. It's a little bit shorter than I was expecting from a deathcore album, especially these days, especially with the three big ones. The three biggest deathcore albums I've dropped this year, but well, death metal albums, but yeah, just really good shit from a very new sort of band. I'm looking forward to whatever Bonecarver drop next, because this one has got me excited. Next we go to Vancouver, British Columbia for Dumb and their third album, Pray for Tomorrow. Even though it's their third album, they use the number 4 in their third album. This is a very sort of charming indie, sort of punky sort of group from Canada, and I thought it was only one dude at first, but then I looked deeper into it, and it's like a 4-member band, I think. And giving this one a B, I just thought it was a very charmingly put together bit of indie rock, which is usually the best kind of indie rock. The storytelling and lyricism is very tongue in cheek as well, which is also a really great trope of indie rock, especially when it's done correctly. I couldn't exactly pin down a theme, but the delivery and the sort of, I guess, tone were a lot more important to the band for this album, I think. The instrumental work's really good. I love the guitar work, it's very buttery smooth. Unlike my hair, god damn it. The performances, again, just very charming. All four of them, yeah, all four of them come off as quite likable. The production's actually quite good as well. I think it was handled by the band themselves. I'm not really sure. It feels like it was, and it's just got a good vibe to it. And the structuring also quite good. Tiny bit repetitive at times, and there's 18 songs, which is padded out at times because a lot of them are actually quite short. But there's no small instrumental tracks either, so I don't know. I feel like the album could have lost a few songs and it would have still sounded this good. I don't think it needed to be this much, but even with that in mind, it's still a very good bit of indie, rocky, punky stuff. So if you like that, maybe give this one a spin. It might be worth it. Next, we go to Chicago, Illinois for LS Dunes and Past Lives, their debut album. Now, if LS Dunes sounds even vaguely familiar to you, that's because they're a newly formed emo supergroup consisting of Anthony Green of Circus Survive, Frank Guerra of My Chemical Romance and Leathermouth, Travis Stever of Coheed and Cambria, Tim Payne of Thursday, and Tucker Rule, also of Thursday. So, yeah, Anthony Green on vocals, Frank and Travis on guitars, Tim on bass, and Tucker on drums. And giving this album, what did I give it? A B. I thought this was a very good bit of modern day emo post hardcore stuff with a lot of like vibes of the old school style. Sorry, a lot of fluff just flew in the air because I was fussing him so much. And the instrumental work is a very good shining example of that. It's very heavy on the lead guitar work. I wish there were more solos. Anthony Green is a phenomenal emo style vocalist. He just puts a lot of personality into it, and he puts in a really good performance. God damn it, hair, stop. The performances are great. I like the lyricism as well. I like it when they're a bit more personal, though. I don't much like it when they're trying to be a bit too political. It's just not something that works for them. It's been highlighted by the reviewers, but it did go against them. The production's quite good, though. I don't know who produced it. It was the band themselves with Will Yip. You'd think I'd remember that because Will Yip is one of my favourite producers, and yeah, they do a really good job in that regard as well. Structurally, again, a bit repetitive and a bit weird in terms of song placement, but still very well handled for the most part, and just, a group of old guard emo dudes doing some really good old guard emo music in the modern day, in 2022 of all years. So, not something you get often, and still very well done. Next, we kind of go to Los Angeles, California for a rapper from there named Ben Lasky, better known by the rap name Quedeca. And his third album, I Didn't Mean to Haunt You. Now, I've heard about Quedeca before, but I'd never listened to a full thing of his. And this album's gotten a lot of really positive reviews for the most part, and I'm no different. I'll give it a positive review as well. I'm giving it a B+. So I liked a lot of the elements to this album. I thought Quedeca's performance and production style were both fantastic. His slower, emotive tone very much reminds me of Lil Peep, which makes sense because I think they were both signed to the same label at some point. Especially before Lil Peep passed away. I could be wrong about that. Did Quedeca? Yeah, okay, yeah, he put out some... Actually, no, he... Okay, fact checking, I think I was wrong there. But he's signed to the same label now that Lil Peep used to be on, so that's where I drew the comparison. Although AWOL is a very good sort of label for emo rap, and Quedeca does that really well. He tells a unique concept, which might be one of my favourite ones until The Generation of Danger by Tyler drops tomorrow. But the concept is it's told through the perspective of a ghost, and just not really lamenting the life he could have had, but thinking, how do I put it? Sort of he's looking at the life he could have had and is happy that someone else has it, but he's slightly regretful that it was taken away from him. And it's a very unique concept, although it does suffer a bit from a lot of the tracks being instrumental. It's like an 11-song album, and it's almost an hour long as well, and there's a lot of meandering on this one, I won't lie. The production is pretty good. Quedeca's performance is pretty good, as are the guest stars. There's only 3 guest stars, which is very, very low for a rap album, especially a sort of emo rap album. And Quedeca's performance, again, fantastic. His lyricism and storytelling are really good. I just wish there were more story. I feel like the lyrics take a weird bit of a backseat too often, and the first half of the album can feel like a bit of a trudge to get through, but it does pick up gradually as it gets to the second half. Yeah, it's still definitely worth a find and worth a listen. And finally, we sort of stay in LA in a weird way for another solo artist, the White Buffalo, real name Jake Smith, and his 7th album, Year of the Dark Horse. Yes, I'm calling Dark Horse, and yes, I'm calling it a 7th because I do not count any revisited albums as albums. They're just redone versions of old ones. It's not new material. Anyway, the White Buffalo, probably the only country artist I occasionally listen to. I liked his last album. I like Year of the Dark Horse as well. I'm giving this one a B. I think it's one of his happier sounding albums and more sort of stadium country sounding albums, but I don't mean that he sounds like a douchebag like Luke Bryan or whatever his name is. I don't know, I don't get too much into country. But White Buffalo's storytelling is still his strongest aspect, very much a very good theme of love and lost love, and at times dishonest love, but told in a very honest way, only in a way that he could really tell. His musicianship is still really, really good too. The production has stepped up massively. I think this is on a new label. No, it's on the same label as it was last time, but it was produced by a different person. I remember that now. This one was produced by someone named Jay Joyce, who has won Grammys before, so yeah, I mean, pretty good and clean production. Not really too organic, but it does sand off the album's rougher edges, I guess. Even though I think it could have stuck with the rougher edge. I don't know, I feel like that should stay around, but Jake Smith's central performance is still really good. I like how happy he sounds as well. This is one of his lighter sounding performances, and it works wonders for him. Structure-wise, again, it can sort of meander around a little bit on occasion, and it's very difficult to pick songs from each other distinctly. but it's still pretty well handled, and again, like, the light bouncy vibe really helps it along, so yeah, also maybe give this one a shot. And that is another one of these done. The next thing you'll see me for will be tomorrow night, my next Let's Play, which reminds me, last night I put up my Zone of the Enders Let's Play, which was, well, it hasn't been really watched by many people yet, but it was a lot shorter than I thought it would be. So if you want to go watch that, I don't know, maybe consider doing so. And tomorrow night will be my next Let's Play, my 21st Let's Play, which will be Marvel's Avengers. I really hope that Marvel doesn't sue me. As for what's, well, that's the next thing, that's next from me. After that is maybe a Friday night review on Sunday, possibly, or Monday at the latest. I don't know. And also, before I go, because I'm not going to forget this time, my least favourite to most favourite album on this episode. So, least favourite, I would go... Oh, okay, yeah. It doesn't really matter either way, but I would go with Pray for Tomorrow by Dumb, Past Lives by Alice Jones, Year of the Dark Horse by White Buffalo, I Didn't Mean to Haunt You by Quadeca, and Carnage Funeral by Bonecarver as my favourite of the past week. But none of these were exactly Album of the Year contenders, but they're still things I recommend you give a spin to, because there are some enjoyable moments on all of them, so yeah, maybe give them a go. It's also a very eclectic sort of like mixture of like death metal, indie rock, post-hardcore emo, modern day emo pop rap, and outlaw country sort of stuff. So yeah, it's a very diverse palette I've covered this week. And yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow, because I cannot wait for the Generation of Danger by Tala. It's going to be awesome. So I'll see you all very soon tomorrow night for next Let's Play. And as always, since I'm scratching my neck, thank you for watching, you're awesome. Bye bye.